One morning, an international headline screams, "Massive fraud at the heart of IFC Ho Chi Minh City." The market shudders. VN30 bleeds red. Global investors begin their exodus. Crisis never asks if you are ready. This is the moment management's true character is stripped bare. Reputation risk management, when scandal knocks. Episode 36. Will you stay silent, waiting for the storm to pass? Or face the cruelty to protect the entire system's name? In finance, a stain left untreated will metastasize. Ruthless transparency. In a crisis, the greatest enemy is not the incident. It is the ambiguity. IFC needs a crisis command center 24/7 rapid response. The immutable laws. Official statement within 60 minutes. No evasion. No delay. No endless, internal investigations. The core initiative. Establish an independent special inspection mechanism. If an entity violates the code, the IFC board must be the first to announce the probe. The first to issue the harshest penalty. Even expulsion from the ecosystem. We protect the system. We do not protect the offender. Being ruthless to the lawbreaker is the only mercy for the law-abiding. Look at how Singapore built its financial sanctuary. Fast. Clear. Uncompromising. Reputation is not manufactured through advertising. It is forged through discipline. The solution: strategic communication channels. In a crisis, the media is not the enemy. Silence is the enemy. IFC must maintain strategic ties with Reuters, Bloomberg, Financial Times, not for PR, but to ensure that when disaster strikes, the truth outruns the rumors. The mandatory initiative. Transparency portal. Where every investor can track the progress of violation handling. View disciplinary decisions. Know exactly who is held accountable. Do not fear exposing weakness. When you dare to go public with a mistake and cut it out entirely, you send a message stronger than any slogan. At IFC Vietnam, no one is above the law. That is the highest level of reputation management. Closing. Trust is a blank sheet of paper. A single drop of ink can ruin the whole page. Protect the purity of IFC with an iron fist and a system of uncompromising transparency. In the world of numbers, only the truth will save you. Commodity exchange. Mastering the root value. Episode 37. Vietnam leads the world in coffee, pepper, and rice. But the price of coffee is decided in London. Agricultural futures are locked in Chicago. We sweat over the red soil of the Central Highlands. Yet the profits from price fluctuations sit in the hands of traders half a world away. Will you accept being a perpetual labor seller? Or do you want to be the price setter? IFC Ho Chi Minh City must be the place the world watches to know. Today, what is the price of Asian agriculture? From farmer to trader. The failure of many domestic commodity exchanges. Lack of international capital flows. Lack of standardized warehousing. Lack of a true derivative mechanism. The solution: establish VCMX, the International Commodity Exchange at the core of IFC. The heart of the system is the digital bonded warehouse mechanism. Goods sitting at Cat Lai or Kai Mep are digitized into warehouse receipts. Every warehouse certificate carries a unique ID, is quality certified, can be traded instantly. The goods remain in the warehouse, but their value has stepped into the world of finance. Want real liquidity? Invite giants like Glencore and Trafigura as anchor partners. When futures and options for coffee and rubber are traded in USD right at 2 theme. We are not just trading commodities. We are reclaiming the power of pricing. This is not just finance. This is economic sovereignty. The solution: standards create power. Don't just build an exchange. Build standards. A bag of coffee certified by IFC must hold the same value as the inspection standards in London. Establish an international quality testing center. transparent classification standards, a digitized traceability system. Connect the exchange with smart logistics. When a buyer in Shanghai can lock a contract, make payment, receive warehouse confirmation from a seller in dock lock in just seconds through the IFC system, liquidity will explode. And when liquidity centers here, prices will revolve around here. One final question. Why must we rent someone else's field when we are holding the strongest cards in our own hands? Closing. He who owns the exchange owns the game. Do not let the nation's resources be priced by those who have never stepped on red soil. Build the power of pricing right here. New Energy, the Electricity and LNG Exchange. Episode 38. The world is starving for clean energy. Vietnam is exploding with wind power. Solar farms stretch from the central coast to the southwest. But international capital will not flow in if the electricity trading mechanism remains as rigid as concrete. To attract capital, you must financialize energy. At IFC, electricity is not just a stream of electrons in a wire. Electricity is an asset. Tradable, hedgeable, investable like a stock. Do you dare to open the door for a truly competitive power market right here in Theme? The liberated energy market. To have massive capital flows, you must have a transparent market. The solution: pilot a wholesale electricity market within the IFC zone. Allow global giants like Google or Samsung to sign virtual power purchase agreements, VPPAs. Buy electricity directly from wind and solar farms. List and hedge electricity price risks right at IFC. This transforms future power output into predictable cash flow. Simultaneously, Vietnam holds the gateway advantage for LNG. Why must businesses buy through intermediaries in Singapore? IFC needs to build an LNG hub. Public bidding. Direct price locking with suppliers from Qatar or the United States. Payment and price risk hedging right on the exchange. When you control the LNG pricing point, you slash energy costs for the entire economy. And when costs fall, national competitiveness rises. The solution: renewable energy bonds. Energy is infrastructure. Infrastructure needs long-term capital. IFC must become the issuance hub for specialized green bonds for offshore wind, convertible bonds for LNG projects, energy price hedging instruments. A breakthrough initiative. Tokenize offshore wind projects. Fragment the investment units. Allow international pension funds to participate flexibly in billion-dollar projects. When finance meets energy at IFC, the power shortage puzzle is solved. A new ESG asset class is born. Global liquidity is sucked into Vietnam. Energy is the food of industry. Finance is the nervous system that coordinates it. IFC must be that brain. Closing. The energy of the future must be green. The finance of the future must be fast. Do not let archaic mechanisms throttle the flow of light. Let IFC be the place where power is traded, gas is priced, and the green economy is ignited. The port war, finance is the engine of logistics. Episode 39. A seaport without financial support is merely a rented loading dock. A financial center detached from the physical flow of goods is nothing but a castle built on sand. But what if the Can-Geo Superport connects directly to IFC Theme? Money and goods become one. Can you see the power? When every container leaving the pier pulls a rotating flow of capital behind it? Supply chain finance. To turn seaports into national strength, you must anchor them in finance. IFC must become the region's trade finance hub, directly linked to the CAI-MEP, TVI cluster, and the Can-Geo Superport. The breakthrough initiatives. AI and IoT to track the container's journey. Transport data updated in real time. The moment goods are on board, businesses receive working capital at IFC. No more waiting 30 to 60 days. Scrap the traditional paper LC. Shift to blockchain-based LC. When capital turnover increases tenfold, national productivity surges tenfold. IFC must not be severed from the sea. It must be the brain controlling the entire flow of goods in and out of Southeast Asia. The solution: freight derivatives. Exports are strong, but ocean freight rates fluctuate by the week. A global shock. Shipping costs triple. Vietnamese enterprises are left to suffer. IFC must provide the tools to hedge this risk. Freight futures contracts. Transport options. Publicly listed regional freight indices. When exporters can lock in logistics costs in advance, they protect their profit margins. This is how great financial hubs like Singapore stitched finance to their seaports. We do not lack geographic location. We lack the accompanying financial ecosystem. When finance masters logistics, Vietnam is no longer just a transit point. Vietnam becomes a true maritime nation. Closing. Money flows with the goods, and goods follow the money. Separate the two, and you are merely a laborer in the global supply chain. Connect the ocean to the flow of capital, and you create a power that cannot be replaced. Breaking the island mentality, when two theme is the heart of the region. Episode 40. A financial center will wither and die if it is nothing more than glass towers reflecting off the Saigon River. The lights are beautiful. International logos shine bright. But down there, the factories are still starving for capital. If the cash flow in two theme cannot reach the production lines, cannot feed the workshops, cannot expand the warehouses, then IFC is merely a high-end casino. Do you want to build an arrogant monument? Or a growth engine for 30 million people? In the Southern Key Economic Zone? Physical and digital synergy. The gravest error is the administrative boundary mindset. Global investors do not care about provincial borders. They only see the ecosystem. Two theme must breathe with. Binh Duong, the industrial capital of the north. Dong Nai, the logistics and manufacturing hub. Long An, the gateway to high-tech and large-scale agriculture. IFC cannot be a financial island. It must be the intersection of the entire region. The physical solutions. Light rail connecting the IFC core directly to industrial zones. High-speed water transport along the river. Dedicated logistics corridors for exporters. But that is only the body. The soul is digitalization. Every enterprise in Binh Duong, Dong Nai, and Long An must manifest within the IFC data system. A unified credit scoring platform for the entire region. AI at IFC banks analyzes actual orders, export contracts, container movements, payment histories, and approves capital in hours. No longer entirely dependent on land collateral. No more mountains of paper files. When capital responds to real-time data, the factories accelerate. The solution: shared benefit mechanism. To gain regional consensus, you must share the rewards. IFC must not suck all resources into its vacuum. A handbook for managers. Establish a tax-sharing mechanism between IFC and neighboring provinces. Form a regional infrastructure development fund. Headquartered at IFC. Provinces contribute. In return, local businesses get priority access to capital. Reduced listing fees. Support for governance standardization. IFC must become the financial office for every manufacturing conglomerate in the South. A factory owner in Long An must feel two theme is protecting my assets, helping me expand my market, enriching my next generation. When economic interests align with political interests, regional power is forged. Do not force the provinces to serve two theme. Let two theme serve them. When the center becomes the supporter, it earns its respect. Closing. The heart is only healthy when the veins are not clogged. If two theme fails to connect with the factory, IFC will remain a pricey ornament. But if money flows into production, and profits return to finance, you create an invulnerable cycle. Break the island mentality. Turn 2 theme into the shared heartbeat of the entire South.